Good evening, Free Enterprise fans, and welcome to another Community Club Showcase. This is going to be the last week for the broadcast for the Eblan Spelunking Club. My name's Vitasia. I'm joined tonight on the mic by Alisal. How are we doing tonight, Ali?
I am doing fantastic and excited for this race. How are you doing?
I am also excited for this race. This has been one of my favorite clubs to follow in this off-season. Not the least of which because it's relatively short, but also just this has been such a fun set of flags to get trained up on and to learn, and we have an interesting party composition tonight to try to get through here, don't we?
We sure do. This looks very much Reject Percent and Rosa.
Reject Percent and Rosa. Although, we have some fans. There's Eddie fans out there. There's Porum fans out there. There's absolutely Rydia fans out there. I don't know if anyone would call them the most powerful in the party, though.
Now, I do love me Rydia, but I will accept that she and Porum maybe don't get the most health. But an early heroine robe, some bow and arrow, they go vroom, because they're angry.
Oh, absolutely. And, of course, we know, let's see, what's our joke objective? Once more into the breach. So we only have to launch the Falcon. For those in the Eblan Spelunking Club, it's a guaranteed hook, and that's all we have to find. So it's find our party, find our hook, and go as fast as you can. This is an interesting party setup, obviously, with the lack of power, but other than that, nothing is really holding our folks back. We should be able to get to the underworld relatively quick, I would hope.
Well, and why don't we take a moment to just shout out our featured runners tonight. We have FF4FE versus Harumph. Two great runners, one who is the lover of Edward and the Harp, and one who loves to fade it.
That would be interesting if we had, if we were given early Harp and, just, hey, would you want to run it? I don't know if I want to run it at any point in this flag set, but yeah, both of our runners, longtime members of the community, part of our Restream core as well. So hats off to both of them for stepping into the ring here. And it looks like we are off. We have Edward with a Punch Mage to start. I will take that, absolutely. And a Rat Tail.
That Rat Tail's useless.
What? No. What? Are you saying, nah? We can't even turn it in until we get the hook anyway, our only required key item, so, yeah.
And that Yang, definitely out of all the characters that you could have matched with Edward, Yang would have been the worst. But we see our runners going in different directions. Harumph heading into the Watery Pass, whereas Asuka looking for characters.
Yeah, it is, the free character checks are on, so we have Rosa in the Watery Pass. Meanwhile, we have just a stand-up mirror with Porum looking at Porum in Mysidia there. Harumph also picking up some treasures. Now, T-Pro is on, which means this is a pretty decent spot to pick up some interesting items. A black belt, that'll certainly help things.
Well, and a little bit of a cheeky thing about picking up both those Porums is you are able to use the twin command. It doesn't care which twins you have, just that you have two of them. So twin might be pretty helpful to get through some of those early bosses.
Great point there. Meanwhile, we do see Asuka, looks like, making a check over here Gonna open up some treasures, and there is also a character check up here on Mount Ordeals. Nice sorcerer robe to start off with as well. We know this is going to be kind of a mage-heavy seed anyway, so happy to see that. And I say mage-heavy right as we have Sid show up.
Now, I love a Sid early on. His large HP pool just makes fights a lot easier, especially in some of those spots where they're doing a little more damage. Sid can just start throwing out utility items.
Absolutely. And Sheep Launcher, our tracker for the evening, by the way, shout out to Sheep Launcher, pointing out that an Earth Hammer was actually available in the Damsian basement, which really is beneficial for that Sid. Not only is it a fantastic weapon, but it does cast the Quake command, which if you're trying to sweep through some lower level enemies, if you have an early, Cal Brenna fight that you have to get through, or an alt gauntlet, anything like that, that Earth Hammer can help sweep through things very, very quickly.
Definitely. Earth Hammer being one of Sid's best weapons to find, just for its utility, and does pretty good damage as well, especially if you find, say, a Luge. It does double damage to machines, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. And I want to say, and help me out, chat, I don't have the chart in front of me, but I think it's like a plus 10 strength weapon as well. I don't recall off the top of my head.
Sounds right to me. Sure.
Yeah, we'll go with it. I might just be making things up, like I do on occasion, but something in the back of my brain is telling me plus 10 strength. Anyway, meanwhile, Harump is also doing the character check over here, so has the Earth Hammer, will certainly get Sid online. Although Sid also has a Poison Axe on Asuka's side, so still very, very good equipment for our resident machinist here. Looks like we're about ready to go diving into some key item checks here as well.
Now, I am not team Poison Axe. The accuracy on that is too low for my tastes. There's nothing worse than Sid only doing 200 damage when he should be doing 1200 damage when you need him to do that 1200 damage.
I can certainly understand that. I think Asuka's is also kind of mitigating that a little bit by keeping Sid in that middle slot, which does increase that accuracy a little bit, so mitigating it a bit, not a ton. It looks like Harumpa is going to go a different route. I'm also looking at the treasure picks up here up in Antlion. I saw a Thunder Claw, a Fire Claw, and a Poison Claw, so all the claws for our Punch Mage.
Well, and also a Rune Ring. Rune Ring, nice pickup for just kind of mitigating some magic damage. And a Headband there in the save room. Headband is a great item that does add additional strength.
I think I also saw a Black Robe as well, which for our Rydia would be fantastic, although I do not see Rydia yet on Asuka's side. I believe Harump picked up Rydia, though, who is in Damsian. No, just a couple of white mages. Okay.
Well, at least it's money.
True. I mean, better than nothing.
And we find this Plague here. Plague can be a scary boss, but Sid putting out lots of damage. Although, it's gonna be close on Harump's side. Thank you, Edward, for dying on us.
That's too bad. I know that had some attacks queued up there. So Harump's going to go back in. Meanwhile, Asuka does get through there fairly easily. See, Poison Claw can do some heavy lifting here.
Well, that's
or Poison Axe, I'm sorry.
Not a key item that's going to help you with anything. Unfortunately, Harump did not save while in Antlion Cave, so does have to do some of this looting again to get some of those nice items.
This is the worst part, I think, of having to redo any sort of free enterprise seed. And I think it's happened to all of us who have participated in the community long enough. You take a nasty wipe and then you have to go back through and re-loot, but you only want to get the stuff that matters. And you forget sometimes which treasures were the ones worth looting and which ones weren't.
Or even worse, if you take a nasty wipe and you don't go back through, and then you think that you have items that you don't have.
So where was that Earth Hammer? Gosh, it was right here.
Asuka taking a look at a Mute Knife there in Fabul. Mute Knife is nice. It does do extra damage to mage-type enemies. So if you see, say, your Magus Sisters, your Ashura, right now can only be equipped by that Edward, though.
And I think with the party members that we have available in the seed, that's the only party member who, well, I guess Rydia. We do have Rydia, although really kind of hoping for some more summons. Don't want to equip any melee weapons with her if we can avoid it, just to maximize her utility as the only black mage available.
Now, Mute Knife does have the caveat that it does give +5 to the black magic stat, so can be used as a black mage weapon.
In the meantime, this is a very, very rude boss to find here. D-looters.
There is no real good way to fight this other than throw curative items. Now they're angry. Now they're going to wall.
They're going to be very angry. Now, I do know that our Yang at least has a Fire Claw, so can do some damage, but here comes some absolute nastiness here with the virus script.
We are on a timer at this point. That Sid needs to do a little more damage a little bit faster because those fires are going to come out hard and fast, and if those viruses start coming out, that Sid could go down in one hit.
Oh, that was brilliant. I was a little worried about that life getting Young up to get this experience, but just because of the fire cast that we're getting ready to come out hot and heavy, but life and then immediate attack to knock it down, that was very well played there.
And Harump actually finding Cure 2s and Cure 3s here in the shop, and that is a hook. That is go mode.
So, Allie, how you feeling about this party, these levels? Do we immediately want to start diving the hook like right now?
I mean, if it's something like Kaipo guards into King Queen Eblan, yes, I would. Of course, if it's Evil Wall into Turtle, we might have to rethink things a little bit.
And I do think Rybon in chat makes a good point. Eddie has some interesting utility on some bosses, to where he can hide and cheese bosses, for lack of a better term, just because of his ability to completely avoid damage for a period of time. So it might be worth at least dipping your toe in there to see if it's worthwhile.
Asuka, you hurt my soul. You hurt my soul.
I completely missed it because my cat was trying to knock something off of my desk. Did she take her Rydia?
No. She threw her away.
How sad. This is a sad moment for fans of Rydia right now.
But we do see Asuka taking that hook, gonna head straight down. Is doing a little bit of looting here. Might be hoping to find something to kind of help with this hook route, and Hourglass 2 is a good start.
That is absolutely going to be key. I imagine using that to open up one of the trap chests to try to get a little bit more experience. Oh my, I think that's deserved. That Leviathan summon sitting in that item shop for both of our runners who ditched Rydia.
You see what happens when you beat Rydia?
I can hear in the background, like somewhere, like we're singing "In the Arms of the Angels," just lamenting the loss of our primary way into the underground.
But Asuka deciding, I'm not going to open any more chests. I'm going to go straight down, see who the boss is. That is a Mylon variant.
That's not bad. If it's Mylon Z, it's worse because he can get kind of punchy there. But Mylon and Friends, where I know we have at least one big bomb item to help sweep through those characters, as well as some other items. Leviathan, but.
Does look like Asuka is going to try and track down this trap chest, or is trying to avoid it to just find some more items to kind of get through this.
Another sorcerer robe, a tiara! Who could possibly use that?
Well, it doesn't really help the white mages, except for it does give some nice bonus magic defense.
I'm just rubbing salt in the wound for, I'm a Rydia stan. I'm absolutely on the Rydia fan club, so yes, I am salty. I'm rubbing salt in the wound right now.
Asuka and I don't see eye to eye on Rydia and Edward. I eat Edward's, she eats Rydia's. It's just the nature of our relationship.
And we wouldn't have you any other way.
But Asuka heading back to Mysidia looks like is going to go pick that Rydia up. Might just be too tempted by the Leviathan summon.
I mean, between the Leviathan summon, the possible Mylon, and everything just lined up the gear for her, it seems like a no-brainer, realistically.
Ditching the other Porum, deciding Rosa is probably the better option. Now, Rosa never learns exit naturally, so this party not gonna exit out. Gonna have to make the walk if you need to leave.
And looks like Harumph, after walking around and clearing out, did also purchase that Leviathan summon. So we'll also be going and picking up this Rydia. You know what? I'm fine with this. It seems like good vengeance.
And it does look like Asuka is thinking about utilizing that Siren to get enough levels to cast that Leviathan. 10 MP is not going to do it. So got to get a few more levels to be able to summon the big dragon wave thing.
The note broke, but on our side. course, this is all predicated. I mean, it becomes easier if it's Mylon and friends. If it's Mylon Z, that becomes a little bit punchier, doesn't it? So how do you go? How do you approach the fight differently? Because it's two very different fights that are gatekeeping us right now, and we don't even know what the first boss is. On top of that,
yeah. Now, one thing about that hourglass too, if it is Mylon and friends, they the ghasts are susceptible to the hourglass, so you can just completely stop them in their tracks.
yeah, it feels like we have answers if it's Mylon and friends. Mylon Z is very punchy, and he hits pretty hard there. So with the low HP levels of at least 3 members of our party. Now, Yang and Sid, conversely, have some pretty high HP, and you can get at least some decent armor on Sid. He might be able to take a couple punches. So that might be really interesting to our strategy and really rolling the dice when we're getting to that point if it's Mylon Z.
Now, we did pick up a Fire Claw, so that Yang can do a little bit of extra damage there. But if it is Mylon Z, not going to be able to utilize that Earth Hammer. I mean, it does do Fire Elemental, but did you know Mylon Z is floating?
I think I knew that. It's one of those weird, obscure things that really only ever comes up in Free Enterprise because we break things.
Yep, because they didn't really have a way to, say, have an Earth element for the Fiend of Earth. Instead, we just make Mylon float.
Meanwhile, Harump is over here gaining levels. Looks like he's doing Eblan trap chests. I love the Eblan trap chests for that little boost of experience that you need to help get you through the Eblan cave. Knowing that we have both a poison axe, which really helps out with these mad ogres, which I think of the fights is the most difficult one in the Eblan trap chests. But we also have the ability to sweep through the skeletons with Quake if we need to, and Leviathan as well. So I really, really like this play from Harump, and it looks like Ostica is going to be doing the same thing here directly, gaining that extra experience through these trap chests. And hey, why not a white shirt to go along with it? Because
White shirt gonna add some resistance to any of the white mages. For Asuka, that's only going to be that Rosa, but for Harump, still does have a Porum.
Who did Harump ditch? Did Harump ditch Edward?
I don't actually know.
Yeah, Harump ditched the Edward. That's a cheeky strategy. As much as I hate Edward, and I agree that I yeet him at the earliest opportunity, and a weird flag said, like the Eblan Spelunking Club, when he can solo cheese certain fights just because of that weird ability to be able to hide, and you're trying to go as fast as you can, I probably would have kept him. But I can see the value in just having kind of an overall stronger party for whatever comes in. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, though.
Oh, definitely. And looks like Harump is getting this Rydia ready. Putting on the white shirt. And might be doing his final dive to see what that first boss is.
High teens, low 20s. It's not great levels, but If you have that Mylon and Friends fight, that Leviathan will carry you very well through that. So, absolutely, I think, especially right now, it's worth a check to see if you can possibly get through.
Now, Asuka's getting a little bullied here by this Staleman and Skeleton check. Looks like might take a wipe to this.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't a fun time. I mean, we've all been there. We all understand it. And now you have to do something very similar to what Harumph did earlier. And gotta remember which treasures are worth opening and which ones you can bypass.
And I personally think that trap chest fight is the hardest of the three. Just because there are so many actors. You do have a total of 5 monsters. And especially if 1 or 2 characters go down, they start getting lots of turns real fast.
No, valid point. I mean, none of the fights are easy. Even the Black Cat Lania fight, I think this is the fight that, as a kid, when I was playing this, even not necessarily free enterprise, this is the trap chest that frightened me the most as a kid because of that bluster auto kill ability that those Black Lanias had as well.
Absolutely. That was just always a scary thing to come across. Although if you can silence them, you don't have to worry so much. Again, getting a little bullied, and Sid low rolling that poison axe swing. That is not a good look for Sid. Does then get a real nice hit, but that's Sid holding on by a thread. But Asuka tried to get the rest of the party up. Sid does go down though.
It's one of those fights. Oh, it's close. Oh no, Asuka.
Yeah, unfortunately not getting good luck with that trap chest either. You can see agility is a thing in free enterprise. There's a lot of math involved. Sometimes you just got to feel your way through it if you're like me and you're on team #NoMath. But when you have less characters alive, like that Lamia started getting turns before we could even really get anything off. But does look like she is going to use a grimoire. Not what you want to see. I mean, it's great, but no. Oh,
well, I didn't know that this is what we were going to be expecting. We were trying to prep for Mylon Z or Mylon and Friends, and how about both?
If you're going to see Mylon Z in a location, this is the better of the two because, like you said, he hits hard. Less health, good.
Yeah, he's still a little fast here, and with the low levels we have, he's still a little bit punchy, but he does have much lower HP here, and getting off 1, maybe 2 Leviathan summons will certainly answer everything. Plus, we mentioned, again, with that Fire Claw, Yang can do some damage if he doesn't get one shot.
Well, and on Asuka's side, we have a Frog Lamia. Asuka said, "Stop bullying my characters. You're not going to do any damage. You are going to do 1, and you are going to be a toad."
All right, Harumph, 3 characters are down. Sid's in the back row, and that Leviathan does take care of it. Mylon Z down, first fight. Do you go back and save? You know you're getting a full health refill here, but do you go back and save?
I would, but these two runners, Asuka and Harumph, are very good friends. They know each other's style, so Harumph knows that he's got to pull out all the stops because Asuka, nobody does the cheeky low-level fights quite like Asuka does. She is a master of weird, just strategies that you wouldn't think of. So he's got to be feeling that worry.
Yeah, and we have the hourglass off on Harumph's side. We have a Leviathan cast. We have at least our Sid zerked up. So I think from here on out, it's about knowing that Mylon is going to counter every attack you have with a lit 1. So you'll limit how many attacks you do. You're not just going to swing kind of willy-nilly. You get your Zerkers up, let them swing every time for max damage, and then you cast Leviathan. And use 2 healers to keep everyone healed up. It's a great strategy right now.
And Asuka is in the sell everything that isn't nailed down mode, trying to afford that Leviathan. It is 40,000 gold, but does get enough to get it. And Mike in chat saying didn't know that the ghasts did not have the boss bit. That is one of those ones that, like the dolls, half the monsters do not have the boss bit, and it's a great thing in case you accidentally kill Mylon first, and the ghasts are very, 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 very angry.
That takes effort, doesn't it, to kill Mylon before his friends? Like, you really have to go out of your way to do that.
Look, sometimes Cecil does not understand that you need to hit the things in the front, and especially a Berserk Cecil. Sometimes Berserk Cecil chooses violence.
I mean, we wouldn't have it any other way. That's why Cecil is so near and dear to my heart. But
I mean, look, I love nothing more than a Crystal Sword Cecil. There's nothing that makes me happier. Or as our tracker Sheep Launcher points out, sometimes Mylon is in the cannon room, and you kill that Mylon, not realizing those ghasts are going to hit you for several thousand.
Owie. Meanwhile, it looks like we're casting some Cure 2s. We're emptying the entire item pool that we have right now. Casting Chocobo. It doesn't look like we have any ethers or elixirs, so Rydia is going to be calling it after this particular cast, and it's up to the rest of the party to carry this.
Thank you, Rydia, for your 40 damage. We appreciate you.
Meanwhile, Asuka's down here and gets the good news that, by the way, we have an Oops All Mylon seed.
And Asuka does have a Bacchus, whereas Harumph does not. So put that Bacchus on that Sid when you get to the second fight, as long as you can get through Mylon. Although Mylon Z over here chose violence. He's angry.
Quite angry right now. It does look like Harumph is limiting the attack so that it can limit the number of counter lit 1s. They're doing between 200 and 300 a pop, plus the melee swings doing about 200 or so. Although, remember, the lit 1s are not going to impact our Sword Robe users all that much.
But nobody wants to get to the point where you're trying to beat Mylon to death with a rod.
No, that would be horrible.
But we see a Leviathan coming out on Asuka's side. Will this be enough to take down this Fiend of Earth?
Very clutch play by Asuka as well. That's back-to-back plays by both of our runners, Harumpa and Asuka. Very clutch Leviathan right when you need it. And Asuka is going to go back and safety save.
I agree with this play. You got lucky with Rydia not getting targeted by Mylon. If you do wipe, you don't want to have to do that again and hope that RNG runs in your favor.
Well, and I think just on the base of it, it looks like the levels are very, very similar here. I was trying to think Asuka does have the Bacchus Wine, but I was trying to look at the HP totals of Rydia to see if maybe she would just have more Leviathan cast, but probably not.
Well, if you roll a Leviathan out of Gwemrar, that's more Leviathan casts.
It is. A little bit of a party difference. We have on Asuka's side, Eddie is slinging that dancing dagger, which I can appreciate, but less healing. Oh, her rubs through.
And that will put Harumph as the first runner on Restream to get through this fight. We do have other runners who are running but are not being restreamed. We do have 3 finishers already, with Possum Orpheus in first place with a time of 26 minutes and 46 seconds, NG Dave with 28:50, and Scythe Marshall with 31:58, and Harumph in 4th place with 35:27.
GG's to all of our runners out there. Especially, hey, shout out Engine Dave, my Torian Tango partner. Love seeing you do really well in the races as well. Anyway, so Harumph, GG's on 4th place in the community race. We'll see if he is wanting to join us here in the booth here directly.
And it looks like we are joined by Harumph. GG's to you.
Thank you.
So tell us about that Mylon, and more Mylon.
I don't think there was enough Mylon.
Not enough Mylon. We needed elements in order to just complete the Mylon trifecta.
Yeah. Probably not sure here which one I would want to have. But would rather have them the other way around. But yeah, that's Poison Axe for you, and a lack of ethers, to be fair.
Yeah, we saw that. I kind of want to call it a desperation Chocobo cast because he had nothing going at that point for Rydia.
Yeah, it seems like because I don't really use Chocobos, like how much would this contribute anything, like even triple, triple digits? When I saw 40, you're going, alright, it's gonna be potions and cure ones, I guess.
Well, and we did see where you were just kind of scrounging the bottom of the barrel, finding whatever you could, just get enough damage and not upsetting the Mylon too much by hitting him with everything.
Yeah, it's like at that point, like, all right, who's gonna be able to do damage here? Look, it's just gonna be Sid here. Poison Axe is objectively the worst axe in the game. Just because you can never rely upon it here. I nearly went to scrounge more here, just not to buy that ogre axe from. I don't remember where I saw that from here. I think it was Mysidia that had the ogre axe. I was nearly tempted to scrounge up more, just the loot, or it's just so I can buy that, so I wouldn't have to rely on a poison axe and its low accuracy.
Yeah, I am definitely not Team Ogre Axe. I am Team anything but Ogre Axe for that exact same reason. But yeah, and then how about that Rydia?
Rydia here, the original plan for Rydia here was she was going to be the anchor if I really needed it. Then I saw Leviathan was on sale, and there's a Mylon, which could be a Mylon Z, or turns out it didn't matter here. They're all there. So like, all right, I guess Rydia is going to be Leviathan, the Leviathan caster here, at least for 2 casts. Debated taking another chest on the way down here just so she could have 3 Leviathan chests. That would have sped things up probably a few minutes. But yeah, I was just trying to make do here with what I have here and not over. Like once you have the hook here, it's basically all right. Now you're playing on how you want to finish the dive the hook route here. It's just no sense in checking any additional additional spots with the crew you got. So.
Well, yeah. Vitasia, do you have any questions?
No, it was just really interesting to see kind of how quickly, hey, that Leviathan made everyone decide, yeah, Rydia is worth it, and that quick turnaround, and then all the equipment was just kind of laid out there in front of everyone. It was just fun, really, to see an Eblan Spelunking Club see, just because they're so fast and they're so quick, and the heart rate gets going because as soon as you get the hook, it's like go, go, go as fast as you can. So, love seeing you work, man.
It's yeah, given that with the tournament coming up here in Force Hook, for the I don't recall if it was on both flags. I know it's on the Red Moon flag set. Yeah, it was definitely to brush up on the hook hook routes here. I'm feeling a little rusty going into Zima Zone 5, so we'll see if I can clean up this part of the game even further, at least.
Well, you are right, and Blue Moon also has required hooks, so it's good practice at bare minimum to getting you into the underground as quickly as possible, but then instead you have a bunch of boss checks, so maybe you don't always want to skip some of those areas.
Yeah, strangely enough here so far, it feels here like a more resource restricted Adamant Cup in that you're chasing. Although it's bossy check here, it's still a list of objectives here you have to go through here. So you're going to be making a lot of checks regardless. So it's going to place in terms of like its mindset here. It's going to feel similar to Adamant Cup here, but you don't have to rely on the good stuff. So.
Absolutely. And we do look forward to seeing you in the Blue Moon you said you were going to go with?
Going with Red Moon here.
The Red Moon.
I don't want to play T Wildish unless, because T Money isn't on. Give me T Wildish or T Money. I'm good with T Wildish. Otherwise, give me a T Pro any day of the week.
But then there's no power overwhelming.
Well, there's less chance of power overwhelming. You can still have power overwhelming if you're lucky. But if you don't have a power overwhelming, power somewhat whelming is usually good enough as well.
Well, we look forward to seeing you just in the tournament in general.
Yeah. Thank you, and of course, shoutouts here to the Restream team tonight here, who I'm sure will be, well, maybe, busy here come with the upcoming tournament here. Alice Salvatation on the mics, Sheep Launcher tracking, Charlie putting putting it all together and making everything look pretty.
Well, thank you so much, and again, GG's. And with that beding, I think we are joined by Asuka.
Howdy.
So, Rydia.
Rydia can die in a fire.
Look.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
That's the thing. I'll be honest, and that's kind of my 39 hours of sleep, or lack of sleep talking. The moment I saw Leviathan Orb, I gave up. I completely gave up in the seed. Because I saw that, and I said, whoever buys that orb wins this. Because Rydia's right there and available. There's your power overwhelming. So
And it's not like the seed then gave you a tiara hat, a sword robe, a Lilith rod, immediately afterwards.
I was already, like I said, the moment I saw that orb, I checked out. And then I saw everything else spawn. It's like, well, the only reason I didn't immediately forfeit, I was on Restream, to be honest. I was so frustrated. It was a fun seed. I really love reject percent until that happens. I actually don't like seeing an Edward or a Spoonward on reject percent. And this is coming from the Edward fan, because that's power overwhelming. And for those that know me, know that there's probably two things I do not like in Free Enterprise, and that's grinding for levels and power overwhelming.
I was going to say Rydia and power overwhelming, but I guess that's grinding is there too.
But yeah, I was so sad when I saw that orb, because that would have been a really cool hook route, a funny hook route, but a cool one.
Well, and Vitasia and I were arguing over, which would be worse, Mylon or Mylon Z? Well, how about both?
Yeah, I mean, neither of them are very difficult in that spot. They're just time consuming. At least I don't think they're, I thought that was a pretty easy hook route, but they can be annoying. Not necessarily, the rune rings made the Mylon and Friends pretty chill. Z, I had grimoires to use. Just smack them with stuff that I tend to not roll.
Well, and I saw that Grimoire Leviathan. I only get Grimoire Odin on a boss with a boss bit.
I'll be honest again, this is a little bit of a lack of sleep. I don't remember throwing the Grimoire at either bosses. So I will take your word for it.
Yeah, you got a bonus Leviathan.
I'll take it.
Well, you go get some sleep.
I will.
Thanks for letting us restream you. And we did see a little bit of your favorite Best Boy.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's a good harp song, mind you. It's I don't know if anybody FF4FE showed the harp song. In case you didn't, it's Scars of Time for Chrono Cross.
Oh, that's such a good one.
Right?
I might have to download the seed and just go listen to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, GG's.
Yeah. Oh, tired. Oh my gosh.
Rest.
Sleep. Go. Bed.
Oh, I gotta thank you, Allie, you, Tasia, for doing comms, Sheep for tracking, Charlie for restreaming. Give them likes, loves, and follows because they're really heckin' cool people. GG to Rumpy for being awesome. And give him likes, loves, and follows too. I'm gonna go sleep now.
Yes, go sleep.
Go
And
sleep, Asuka.
be sure to give love to Asuka. Asuka is a master of, as I was saying earlier, just those edge case strats of finding new ways to take down bosses. Just looks at them like a puzzle and finds a way. And she's just awesome, and I love her, and she's cute. Heart. But yeah, you want to bring us out, Vitasia?
Sure. One last shout out to, of course, all the folks behind the scenes. Sheep Launcher for tracking, Reckless Charlie for the restream, of course, our two runners, Harump and Asuka, and of course, Ali, my co-commentator. It's always a pleasure working with you. No matter how short it ends up being, I always love working with you when we can come together.
Absolutely. It is always fun, always a great time.
And with that, if you guys, if everyone sticks around, we are going to head over and raid Flossie Fern. She is doing some Blue Moon practice. Remember, do not spoil what happened in this particular scene. Want to make sure it stays a surprise to everyone. But otherwise, yeah, we're going to go raid Flossie Fern and show her all the love over there in the community. Otherwise, have a fantastic rest of your evening, Free Enterprise community, and we'll see you at the next race.
Later, y'all.